Hey, what's up, everybody? So, how can we lead ourselves and others through our disadvantages? And I talked about it a bit last week. So, how can we take those disadvantages and make them as our advantage and also lead other people that will follow us along the way? So, when you want to start leading people, when you want people to follow you, and I see people coming in, hey Lindsay, how are you doing? Good to have you here. So, when you want to start leading other people, when you start taking people by the hand and along with you, is by sharing your own story. Now, wait a minute, I'm going a bit deep on that. So, how can we share our story? How can we make people listen to us and really go with us all the way when we share our story? Is when we're being honest, when we're being true to ourselves and to others. And we have this kind of shield, if you will, an armor that we don't want to share our own story, our own obstacles, and what's going on in our life because maybe it's shaming. Maybe it's too hard to talk about it. So we keep it to ourselves. And that way we're not being honest. And when we're not being honest and not being vulnerable, we just can't lead others. Think about it this way. Would you trust somebody that hides a lot of things, that don't talk about things? And I have a perfect example for this. Have you seen Harry Potter? There is a Dolores Umbridge, this little woman that dressed all in pink. Her room is all with kitties and everything so pink and fluffy and beautiful. And she see only the good vibes. She's so positively, but she also torture everybody else because she's not happy with her life. So she tried to put it on students because she hates students. She hates what they represent, and she never share anything about herself. She all the time giggles. She all the time looks like she's so happy, but actually she is a very negative person. And when we try to hide our truth, when we try to hide what's going on in our life and seem like everything is so pink and beautiful, we actually lie to ourselves and we lie to others, and in that way we can't lead other people. Does that make sense? If it does, I would love to hear about it. So comment below that it makes sense to you, or if you watch the replay, just hashtag replay. Anyway, when you want to kind of lead people, you need to share with them what's going on, how you dealt with other things, how you overcome other things, and become this inspiration to them, and they will want to follow you because you're guiding them. You show them that you're leading yourself. That means you can lead them, and they will want to come with you, and you build that trust with other people. For example, and I haven't talked about it a lot because it was for me like a big shame. Like, I messed up, and it was when I started interview people. My first interview was with this big mentor. She was amazing. She helped a lot of people to really transcend and transform their life, and she got the time slot and do the interview with me. So we started the interview. Everything went smooth. Everything went perfect. All the questions, all the flow was amazing. And at the end of it, then I sat down and start to edit, and suddenly I noticed I can't hear her. Her voice was completely deleted. And I felt, fuck. What should I do now? I messed it up. What the hell? I'm such an idiot. I start to beating myself up. I start to say how an idiot I am, and I didn't know what I'm doing. I said, should I keep going with interviews? Look at that huge mistake. I felt that big shame, and I put an armor okay, I'm not going to do any more interview. I messed up, whatever. And through that for quite some time. And I said to myself, whoa. Wait a minute. If you will keep that way, what will happen is, later on I will stay stuck at the same place. Do I really want to stay stuck? So I came not confront, sorry, that's not I came and told her about the problem and confessed that was my issue, that was my responsibility. I should have noticed maybe another program tested before, and that way I learn, and in that way I transcended into other places where I did other interviews and it went smoothly because I learned from the mistakes. And then I started to share my own stories, my own vulnerability, and when I share my own things that went through and all the hardships, like the injuries that I went through and all the depression that I had and all those things, when you share the things that is most hurting for you and you lay down this fucking armor and you start really be truthful, people will want to be with you. You're building that connection, if you will, with other people around you. And the trust, like I said, the trust. People go with trust. If they don't trust you, why should they do business with you? If they don't trust you, why should they go with you? If you don't lead yourself, why should you lead others? And you know, before I started the whole mentoring thing, before I started even learning about self-development, I all the time was so positive that I said everything is so amazing, my life is so good, and actually I had a lot of shit going on, but I covered that with everything is positive because I wanted to be positive all the time, positive and cheering, yay, everything is good. But actually the horrible truth that I had a lot of shit going on, like the injury, like a bad relationship, and I just kept this huge cloud like everything is good. Yeah, being positive, don't you understand me, don't you misunderstand me. Being positive, it's great, but also being honest with yourself and what's going on and how can you learn from what is going on and how you can transcend it from that and how can you help others with that and share what is going on with your life and share your story. That way you help others way much faster and you help yourself much more faster. And I would love to know if that makes sense. Just comment below it makes sense to you. And if you watch the replay, just hashtag replay. And one more thing before I go, how can you share that story? How can you start with that? Start small. Start small because it's hard. It's hard to share our own stories because it's comes with a little pain, some discomfort. It's never fun to talk about bad shit that happened to you because it's not fun. It's very painful to talk about that shit. It's very painful to share that all that messed up things that happened. So how can we share that story? Lindsay said, yes, I love that energy. I love that commitment also. So how can we share our story? You start small by practice it. Let's say, put a camera in front of you. Don't even share it. Don't show that to everybody. Just press record. Doesn't need to be live. Like I said, just you and the camera and delete it. The minute you share that story, delete it. Because then you practice it. Practice, make it perfect. And when you practice, you make it perfect. And the next time that you talk with someone and share that story, yeah, you will always feel discomfort. I always feel discomfort when I share my stories. But I said, fuck that. I want to make that impact. I want to make that inspiration to others. So that's why I keep on with telling that. And yeah, it's always feeling discomfort. But fuck that shit. If we want to make an impact and if we want to create that trust and if we want people to follow us and we want to lead ourselves and others, we start leading ourselves by sharing our stories and being vulnerable. And yeah, it's not nice, it's not fun, but it's a very necessary part for you to do. So are you going to record yourself? Like I said, don't share it to everything. Don't share it, just record it, delete. Record, delete. Are you going to share? Are you going to record that story of you and make that practice? I would love to hear about it. If you're going to do that practice, just comment below. Heck yeah, that I know that you're going to do that. let's make that impact. Let's start that transformation, and let's start leading ourselves and leading others. So are you going to post it? Are you going to record it? To do that drill? If so, I would love to hear about it. Like I said, let's start to make a change. Let's start to lead ourselves and others. So I would love to hear about it. Comment below, heck yeah, if you're going to do that. And 1 second before I go, Lindsay said, people relate and trust honest people with flaws too and strength. They have to overcome those personal obstacles, then they follow you. Recording gives me self-awareness. Love it, Lindsay, you nailed it. That's exactly what you said. Those flaws and being honest, that's what help people come to you. Because if someone doesn't have flaws and doesn't have shit going on in their life, we don't have that sympathy with that person. How can we have sympathy with someone if he hasn't been through nothing? And I'm sure everyone has those obstacles, everyone has those flaws, but not everyone wants to share it. That's why not everyone is a leader. Not everyone is making that progress. But you being here, hearing this, doing the exercise, liking it, share it, going through that process, that means you're the real deal. That means you're part of the change. That means you are on it and you're going to succeed because you're doing. And you're not sitting on the fence and waiting for something to happen. You're doing. And like I said, being vulnerable, it's not so much fun. But when you're honest and when you show people your flaws, that's a huge strength more than weakness. Because when we share our weaknesses, we show that we don't give a fuck if they like it or not, if they think it's a weakness or not, because we believe in ourselves. That way, we can actually inspire the right people. That way, we can lead the right people. Those people that will not care about it and see it as a weakness, fuck them. They're not deserved to be in your life. They don't deserve to be part of your process. Does that make sense? If it does, again, love to hear about it, so comment below. And start a drill, record yourself. Like I said, don't even share it, just record and delete. Record and delete, and then when you are ready, go and share it. Go share your story, because practice makes it perfect. Start leading, and I would love to hear if you've done that. If you've done that, I would love to hear about it, so comment below. After you record yourself, let's create that accountability. And Lizzie said thank you, and thank you, Lindsay, for being here, and thank you guys for being here. Invest your time with me today. I really appreciate you for being here today, going through that process. That was amazing. Love the energy, and have an amazing and productive day. I will see you next time. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, that I know that you want more content of it. And if you watch it on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button to never miss out an episode. I will see you next time. That was live.